The cheetah. Extinct in many countries and in Namibia, routinely trapped and killed by farmers protecting livestock. 15 years ago, British wildlife cameraman Dave Houghton came to Namibia to work with leading cheetah conservationist Wayne Hansen, rehabilitating rescued cheetahs.
Bandito, come on, Bandit!
Come, Bandito.
Dave and his partner, Carla have adapted to life in the wild, also taking in wave-sore strays like abandoned jackal pup Bandit.
Oh boy.
Bandit the jackal is, he's a bit of a character, and he likes running around and playing around in the garden just like a domestic dog. But he's actually part of our reintroduction program, and hopefully he'll get back out in the wild with the rest of the animals.
As well as taking care of nearly 100 resident cheetahs, the team now plans to release 18 onto the Okanjima Wildlife Reserve.
That's a thirsty boy.
Throughout this series, we'll follow their stories as they fight for survival in the wilds of Namibia. ...8 a.m. at Okanjima. A once barren landscape in central Namibia, now transformed into a haven for wildlife. In a holding enclosure at the Africat Foundation, the cheetahs are on the move. This group of 4 males and 2 females were rescued as cubs, but are now mature enough to be given a second chance in the wild. Since they were youngsters, these cheetahs have been cared for by Rescue and Release Officer Dave Houghton and Director of Welfare Carla.
Who is that?
It's Spud.
If everything goes to plan, this will be one of the last times they'll be letting them into their feeding enclosure.
They never seem to learn. They get fed 5 times a week. They still don't learn that they all get one piece. They don't have to fight over it.
In the wild, only male cheetahs hunt and feed together. The females are solitary. The fact that these cheetahs have lived and fed as a mixed group is unusual.
As soon as the gates open, they're running for their food. The shy ones will grab their food and run out, and the ones that are more bold will probably stay in the area and eat in the shade of a tree.
Cheetahs are one of the least powerful of the big cats. They are often driven off kills by other animals, such as leopards or hyenas. It's a lesson that feisty Coco, raised in captivity, has yet to learn.
Coco's actually quite a brave cheetah, and she will give you trouble if she got half the chance.
And sure enough, when Coco spots Dave entering the enclosure to retrieve her bowl, she defends her meal aggressively.
Go back to your food. I'm not going to take it, you're all right. Look, I'll back off for you.
Coco adopts a defensive threat posture. Legs stiffened, head below shoulder level.
Mexican standoff.
Behaving like this when confronted by a hungry leopard could get Coco into serious trouble. But here, she definitely has the edge, and Dave knows better than to turn and run.
You go and find your food. Okay. Yeah, you mustn't turn your back. If you know, when you're in with a big cat, you must always have your eyes on what's going on.
Coco's not afraid of humans because she was captured from the wild as a cub and kept as a pet. The team stepped in when her owner failed to feed her properly. Coco's companion, Bones, had a much more traumatic start in life.
His mother was shot by a hunter, and the reason why his name is Bones is because he really was a bag of bones when he came here. But as a result of being half-starved, he has a real love of food, and he has never forgotten that.
And sure enough, not content with just one serving, Bones is soon on the lookout for second helpings.
He's looking to see if there's more food. He is a bit of a pig.
Bones' greed could soon be a lifesaver. In just over a week, the cheetahs will be released here, a 40,000-acre wildlife reserve, designed to give cheetahs like Bones a second chance of freedom. Tomorrow marks the start of an emotional process, when the cats move into a holding enclosure adjoining the release site.
We've put in many hours into making them better when they've been injured and to bringing them up, hand-rearing them. So this opportunity is going to be an amazing experience for all of us. There are some hard lessons ahead of them. There's sharp hooves and sharp claws and horns. Some of them will make it, and sadly some of them won't. But that's the chance we have to take. They do belong in the wild, they do deserve a second chance.
Carla and Dave hope the cheetah's instincts are strong. Their very survival could depend on them.
Needles and syringes.
Needles and syringes.
Perfect. Good.
After months of planning, it's time for the first move. In just a few days, Coco's group will be released onto the reserve. But first, they need to be transferred to a holding area. A dedicated team, including staff and volunteers from Africat, and veterinary surgeon Mark Jago, face a grueling schedule.
It's not something we do every day, thank God, because it's quite a stressful experience for us.
Each cheetah has to be darted and then transferred to the clinic for essential vaccinations and a general health check. It's stressful for everyone, especially the cheetahs.
They know the dart gun, and as soon as they see it, they start pacing backwards and forwards.
The cheetahs will also have radio collars attached, enabling the team to track them once they're released into the reserve.
They have to be collared because we have to monitor them on a daily basis, and finding a cat in 16,000 hectares is virtually impossible without a collar.
Well, let's rock and roll.
While the team sets up stations at the clinic, Dave and Mark prepare to dart Coco and Bones. The cheetahs know something is up and have become anxious. Dave and Mark must work quickly.
Bones is sitting up in the middle.
Dave has to determine the range before Mark can carry out the darting.
So that one over there?
Yeah.
16 metres.
16.
Yeah. Okay, that's Bones. One more.
Bones is darted, closely followed by Coco. Once they're down, the race is on. Cheetahs are unable to regulate their body temperature under anesthetic. It's 11 o'clock and nearly 80 degrees. Dave needs to get them in the shade as soon as possible.
We just need water on this one, huh?
Overheating in this country is a big issue because obviously it's so hot. By the time you've darted them, the temperature's already above what it should be. And then if they fall down in the sun and go to sleep in the sun, then it's, you know, it's even worse. So that's why we carry a lot of water and wet towels and things.
Bones and Coco are loaded. And under the cover of cool wet towels and a shade cloth, set off for the clinic. The team is already extremely busy. There are nearly 30 other rescued cheetahs receiving health checks today. These are the Foundation's permanent residents, too old or habituated to be released into the wild. But just as the team are about to make space for Bones and Coco, an emergency. One of the older resident cheetahs, a 7-year-old male named Cassie, is overheating.
Can't cope.
He needs fluids, and the team has to get his temperature down as quickly as possible.
Spray.
Foundation Director Tammy Hort takes charge.
But what we have to do is, once it's on the table, is to stabilize the temperature as fast as we can. So we need to use fans and water. And this is the most important thing that we're trying to do now.
When last is temperature taken? Has this been reset? Okay. It's on 40.9, 41, 41.3,
Carla monitors Cassie's temperature.
41.4. It seems to go up.